Hello students, welcome back to the virtual class. So in today we are taking up the next concept, that is measure of dispersion. Okay. So here we are discussing about a very important concept called uh, dispersion. Dispersion means it is used in two sense. First, it means that all the items in a group are not of the same value. Okay, so differ from one another in size. There is no uniformity in the size. So that is one way of defining the dispersion. That means every number is unique and there is no similarity or uniformity among the numbers. Then when it comes to the second point, okay, so dispersion is used to indicate the measure of differences of the size of items in the group from their average. There's a measure of deviation of items from their average is called a measure of dispersion. So here, so dispersion will be used to identify the differences of size of items in the given group of averages, okay, and it will going to measure of deviations of items, okay, from their averages. So that's why it is termed as a measure of dispersion. So this is about the meaning. Take up the next one, objectives of dispersion. See, dispersion will be used to determine the reliability of averages, to serve as a basis for control of the variability, to compare two or more series with regard to their variability, and to facilitate use of other statistical measures. These are all the objectives of dispersions. Then we have a properties of a good measure of dispersion. Okay, so the following are the properties. It includes the first one, it should be simple to understand, easy to compute, rigidly defined, and it should be based on each and every items of the distribution. So that means it has to be considered each and every items of the distribution. That is most important. Should be enable to further algebraic treatment. That means through dispersion further algebraic treatment is also possible, and it should have a sampling stability, and it should not be unduly affected by the extremes items. Okay, these are all the good properties of the dispersions. Okay, then we will take up the next one, that is difference between central tendency and the dispersion. See, in the last class and all we have discussed about the central tendency, and we have to know what is the differences between these two concepts, this is central tendency and dispersion. See here, central tendency is considering average of the first order, so dispersion is considering average of the second order. So do not give detailed features of observation, and it will going to give the detailed characteristics of the observation, and it do not establish relationship with the items. Here it is establishing with the individual item, and give the idea of concentration of items, and give the idea of deviation from central tendency. Okay, so tools used are, so you all know what are all the tools we are going to use under central tendency, that is mean, median, mode, harmonic mean, and geometric mean. These are all the tools used under central tendency. Under dispersion we are using a tools like range, quartile deviation, mean deviation, and standard deviation. So these are all the tools under dispersion. So this is the major differences between central tendency and dispersion. So then here we are focusing on two more things, that is absolute measure and relative measure. So absolute measure means the dispersion results are expressed in terms of amount of variation, that is in original units are called absolute measure. That means if we are considering the original units, that will be considered as an absolute measure. For example, the range, mean deviation, standard deviation, that will be the example for absolute measures. Then we have a relative measure. So here the dispersion relations are results are expressed in terms of the degree of variation, that is ratios or percentages are called relative measures. Okay, so here what we are considering, coefficient of range, coefficient of mean deviation, coefficient of variations. So that is regarding a relative measures. Then we have a different types under dispersion, that is range, quartile deviation, mean deviation, and standard deviation, and Lorentz curves. Okay, we are working out sums for all the for four things, that is range, quartile, mean deviation, and standard deviation. So we have a practical part on this four concepts. So we are taking the first concept, that is range. Okay, So it is a measure of dispersion which gives the difference between highest and the lowest value in the series. So here range, we are considering the highest and lowest values from the given set of series, okay. And it also a difference between two extreme values in the um, it is also termed as a difference between two extreme values in the series, okay. Range means it is a difference between two extreme values in the series, okay. In any statistical series, the difference between the largest and the smallest value is called as a range, okay. So the difference between the highest and lowest, difference between two extreme values, difference between the highest, largest or smallest value, all this is termed as a range only. So it will be, thus it is defined as R is equal to L minus S. L means the largest value and S means the smallest value, okay. So coefficient of range, see the relative measure of the range, it is used a comparative study of the dispersion. So for comparative study of dispersion, we are going to use the relative measure of the range, that is termed as a coefficient of range. So the formula to calculate the coefficient of range is L minus S divided by L plus S, okay. So the differences between the largest and the smallest divided by the addition of smallest and the largest. So here there are a set of merits and demerits regarding a range. So it is simple to understand and easiest to compute. You will going to know this while solving the sum, okay. So it takes the minimum time to calculate the value of range. It is good measure of comparison. So these are all the advantages. Disadvantages, it is not based on each and every items of the distribution. See, as we are considering or focusing only on the largest and smallest item, we are not focusing on every item of the distribution. That is one drawback. And it is subjected to fluctuation of considerable magnitude from sample to sample, okay. Then in certain cases, range does not tell anything about the characteristic distribution within the two extreme observations. See, if they have given two set of observations and it is consisting of the same values, so that if that is the case, you may not be able to determine the range, okay. So that's why it so in some cases range does not tell anything about the character distribution, okay. So range cannot be calculated in case of open end distributions. So it is not possible to calculate the range under open end distributions. You know what is open end distributions. Well, we'll take up yeah, the next concept, that is use of range. So these are all the areas where we're going to use the range, okay. It is used in meteorology department in determining the differences between the maximum and minimum temperature. It is useful for general public, okay. And it is useful in studying the variations in the price of shares and stock, okay. Then it is also useful for studying the range of fluctuations in price of gold, silver and jewelries, etc. The range is useful in determining and maintaining the quality of the product, study quality control, in knowing fluctuation in the share price, in weather forecasting, in our day-to-day living, as for example the minimum and maximum temperature, okay, the minimum and maximum salary, etc. To find all these things, we are going to use the range. Next we'll take up the sum. So how to calculate a range as well as coefficient of range. So look at this sum here. So they have given the wages 1400, 1450, 1520, 1380. Next we have 1485, 495, 1557. Okay. So in the given distribution or in the given set of data, we have to consider the largest value. So among this, the largest value is 1575, right? So and the least smallest value. So smallest value is 1380, right? So we have to find a range. So range is equal to L minus S. So L is 1575 minus 1380. So how much you will get? Range as 195. So this is how you have to calculate the range. And here they have asked, we have to compute its coefficient also. So what is the formula to calculate the coefficient of range? Yes. See, coefficient of range is equal to L minus S divided by L plus S. That is 1575 minus 380 divided by 1575 plus 1380. Okay, so you will get it as wait a minute. So you will get coefficient of range is equal to 195 divided by 2955, that is equal to 0.0660. So this is the coefficient of range. Okay, very simple and easy to calculate. Okay, hope you can able to solve the sums based on this example. Thank you.